Putting $9 in the car. Next time we're here, the nozzle came out super fucking slow. Let's see how super fucking slow it goes today.
Oh yeah? Look how fast it gets to where it's going.
Huh?
It's almost better when it takes forever.
Yeah.
You don't feel like you're getting so ripped off.
Not over $4 yet. Damn close.
Oh no!
What? What?
We got crushed in the fucking door.
How many of them?
They go hand in hand, or at least they have for the last number of years.
Now, I keep waiting for gasoline to hit $3.72 a gallon, which will be exactly double the price it was when President Obama took office. But I'm also waiting for a few reporters to start asking him, have the guts to say to him, Mr. President, are you planning to do anything about this? We used to beat President Bush up for rising gas prices, so we feel obligated to do the same to you, but so far I haven't seen that kind of courage out there.
Well, you know, it was interesting. On Friday, he gave a press conference, and he for the first time ever, gave previous administrations credit for something. Although he didn't give them direct credit, he said that oil production's up in the United States. And that's largely because of both the Bush administration and actually the Clinton administration, which actually leased more land than the Bush administration. He was pointing out the fact that last year our production of oil in the Gulf of Mexico actually went up. But that
well, Dan, let me ask you about that. I'm talking to Dan Tish, who's Senior Vice President of Policy at the Institute for Energy Research. I got the impression that he was trying to take credit without saying it because he knew that he hadn't done anything in his administration to make oil production more likely. or to have more of it. But it did ramp up a bit during his administration, and I think what he was effectively trying to do is act as though he could take credit for it. I was here, oil production went up, and have nobody be smart enough to say, by the way, did you do anything to make oil production go up? To which he would have had to say, no, I actually shut oil production down, but it went up anyway, and I'm happy to take credit for it. I mean, this is the kind of sneaky business from this guy. I got the impression that he wasn't so much giving credit to the previous administrations as trying to have average Americans who are getting hammered at the pump every time they pull in to fill up say, oh, but President Obama made oil production go up, even though he didn't say that. He just said it went up last year, and I was here.
Yes, and that's actually a great way to describe it, because it did go up. What it didn't do was go up as fast as it was predicted. Stop new production from coming online, and we're going to pay the real cost next year after the year after, because in essence what they've been doing is not allowing us to plant next year's crop. Same thing for the Gulf of Mexico. Alaska, the Alaska pipeline, Lars, is only 1/3 full now. We used to send an extra 1.4 million barrels a day, which is exactly the amount that Libya exports daily. And then as our market laws pick up, down to Alaska pipeline to the west coast, the old Pacific Northwest and California, that's all being imported instead, because they won't let us drill for new oil in Alaska, even though Alaska has at least 45 billion barrels of oil, which is twice the United States proven reserves.
So if we were allowed to go on Anwar, we could actually put on that pipeline, but instead now we're running 1/3 full. At what point does it become sufficiently empty that it doesn't even make sense to operate it?
We're getting close, and everybody's making right now to try to determine what that is. As a matter of fact,
what day is it going to be, or what month is it going to be when we finally say, it isn't worth the money to keep it open?
Yes, it's a matter of economics, actually. It's a matter of how much it costs more to run it with less oil because the damage pipeline, some of the problems that have with the pipeline are actually due to the lack of oil going through it.
Let me guess, when it's full, you don't have air mixing with all those other biochemicals.
Ironically, Liberty's okay with that. Liberty's okay with it from the business.
Then you get you got it.
The first week you can't get in, the second week you're closed.